Yes, sir, wedding bells finally rang in the life of Margie Blake. Back from their honeymoon,
Margie
she
Blake.
and Tim are headed for a life of wedded bliss. They think.
You gotta do the normal married couple thing.
Yes, the honeymoon is over for Tim, now that he starts back to work.
Well, that whole 2 seconds of honeymoon was always great.
And it's over for Margie, too, as she enters her
Now
bright
she
new
has to
kitchen
go
to
back
cook
to
her
her
first
normal
meal.
home, the
Can
kitchen.
she prepare those favorite dishes of Tim's, just like his
Nope.
mother used to make?
Well, I mean, you aren't his mother, so... Awkward
What
silence.
would he like for dinner? He just loves chocolate cake. Go ahead, try one. All you
We'll
have to
fix
do
that
is
for
follow the
every
recipe.
meal. And if he gets fat, it's his fault.
This is going to be easy. Let's see, what's next? It says, cream butter until soft and smooth. Cream the butter? Better get the cream.
Well, better buy the generic brand cake mix from Betty Crocker.
That's right, pour it in. The recipe says cream the butter, so put in lots of cream.
Put in lots of cream.
Just
Make
look at
sure
that silky
that
smooth
chocolate
texture of that
cake-
batter. Will Tim be surprised?
Nope. He'll be surprised when he finds the rat poison
Will
inside
Tim
of his cake.
be surprised?
You just asked that. Ooh, that does not look like chocolate cake.
No, Margie, your cake didn't turn out so well because you misunderstood a term in your cookbook. You'll find that your
I'm
cookbook
that
contains many
stupid.
terms which pertain to cooking
Oh,
alone.
well.
It is necessary for you to know what these
If
terms
only
mean
I knew how
before
to
you can
read.
interpret recipes properly.
The women's suffrage movement really
To
didn't help
cream
that
butter
much.
merely means to work it with an instrument until it becomes soft and smooth.
Will my tuba work?
There are many other terms you should know. For example, you must
Like
stir the
fork,
ingredients in your chocolate
spoon,
cake. To
bowl.
stir is to mix food materials with a circular motion to secure a
If you're that
uniform
stupid,
consistency.
you probably shouldn't be in a kitchen in the first place. Stir, stir,
Later, you may be
stir.
required to beat egg whites
Oh,
stiff but
this
not
is
dry,
high-tech.
or so that
Oh, it
they
even
hold the
lifts on
greatest
its
amount of
own.
air
Whoa.
without losing their elasticity.
Wow.
You may have to fold
Elasticity?
two substances together. The process of folding combines two motions, cutting vertically through the mixture and turning over
And crying
repeatedly
softly
by
into
sliding
your
the
pan.
instrument along the bottom of the bowl. The purpose of this motion is to prevent
This
loss of
drumstick
air
is
from
really
the
working
ingredients.
wonders for my bowl.
In
Narrator,
making
will
a
you ever
frosting
get out
for
of my
that same
head?
cake, you may boil a sugar syrup.
Some
to
Betty
boil is to
Crocker.
cook
I mean,
at such a temperature
sugar.
that bubbles rise continuously and break on the surface. Later, your frosting recipe
Oh
may
no,
call
it's
upon you to
it's
perform the
overcooking.
test
I
from
gotta
the
go
soft
back.
ball
Tim will be mad.
stage. And this is performed by adding a few drops of the substance to very cold water.
He said a drop, not a
If the
spoonful.
drops form
God.
soft balls that can easily
Don't
be
put your
flattened with the
fingers in it.
the material is at the
Ew.
soft ball stage, or a temperature of 235 degrees Fahrenheit.
She then burnt off her finger.
The frosting may have to be beaten. This may be done with an electric mixer.
Which you didn't have because this
To
is the
beat by hand is
1950s.
to make a mixture smooth, or to introduce air by using a brisk, regular motion that
Hair?
lifts the mixture over and over.
I knew this voodoo spell wouldn't work.
The making of this cake and
Ooh.
the frosting on it involve
the
the
heck
terms
is that?
cream,
That's not
stir,
cake, that's-
fold, boil, soft ball stage, and
Ooh.
beat.
Beat.
Almost all bread and roll
Bread.
recipes call for kneading the dough.
B-R-E-A-D-S.
To knead means to manipulate with a pressing motion, accompanied by folding
Using
and
your
stretching.
wrists. It's a good thing that frame showed me
In
how to
cooking
cook.
meats, other terms are used. Less tender cuts of meat may best be cooked by stewing.
Stew.
When applied to meats, this means to add a small amount of water and simmer until tender.
And some
The
bouillon
simmer is to cook in
cubes.
water just below the boiling point, or at a temperature of approximately 185 to 195 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa, I don't understand those numbers. Those are too high. Better close the lid.
Other cuts of meat might be
Should
cooked
probably
by
go back
braising.
to just making flour.
First, the meat must be dredged. To dredge simply means to
Good
coat with
Lord.
flour, cornmeal, or other
Oh, I
fine
thought that was
substance.
salt.
Your
I was about
recipe
to
will
go,
usually
you're
tell
gonna
you
make
what
him go
should be
into cardiac
used.
arrest with that. Gosh. Gotta rub off all the
Next, you must
excess.
brown the meat. This is done by cooking in a small amount of fat until brown. Be sure to brown the meat on both sides.
Because if you don't, it will turn yellow. And nobody
The
wants
third
yellow
step in
meat.
braising is to add water and cook by simmering.
Simmer. George Zimmerman.
So you see that the term braise includes three other terms: dredge, brown, and simmer.
Whoa, whoa, I can't even count that high.
Of course,
Calm
braising
down.
is only one of the many, many ways in which we can cook meats. One of the most popular is roasting. The terms roast and bake mean the same
beef.
thing: to cook by dry heat.
Arby's.
But before you actually start to roast the meat, you may sear it. This is done by the short application of intense heat.
Intense heat? Whoa!
And causes the surface of the meat to turn brown in color. It is
Ow,
done to
ow,
improve the
my
flavor
hand.
and
Oh,
appearance,
oh,
but
I
does
shouldn't have
cause
touched
greater
this.
loss of
Where's
juice.
Oh! Get back in there. Oh. Oh, I'd rather burn the house down and deal with this.
The oven temperature should then be reduced to proceed with the roasting. Suppose
then
Margie's
died
cookbook
later
told her
in
to
a house
marinate
fire.
the vegetables before preparing the salad. Would she know
So
what to
this
do?
suicide note was because my cooking was bad?
To marinate means simply to saturate the food with a marinade. A marinade is an oil-acid mixture, which is usually a kind of salad dressing. The mixture is usually allowed to stand in the refrigerator for some time.
Get in there, foul beast. Stay back.
Sometime during your career as a cook, you'll decide to serve
isn't my
scalloped cauliflower.
career.
This involves even more terms.
I work at an office.
A white sauce should be made first, and the first step is to
What
scald the
about a
milk,
brown
or to heat it to a
sauce?
temperature just below the boiling point.
Bad sauce. You are now scalded. Go to your
While
room
the milk
without
is
dinner,
heating,
sauce.
add flour to melted fat in amounts called for by your recipe. Stir
This is
rapidly
what
to
my
prevent the
husband will
formation
be
of
shortly.
lumps. Scalding is complete when a scum forms on the surface of the milk.
You nasty scum. Get out of my house.
Add the milk slowly, again stirring constantly to avoid lumps. Notice the scum, which indicates the milk has been scalded.
Scalding. Captain Picard would be so happy.
Meanwhile, the cauliflower must be boiled until tender.
I thought I was baking a cake.
Put alternate layers of boiled cauliflower, grated cheese, and white sauce in a greased baking
Will
dish.
this voice ever leave my head?
A layer
This
of
is what I
breadcrumbs on
get
top
for
if
making
desired.
that deal with the devil to teach me how to
And bake
cook.
in a moderate oven until brown in color.
Okay, I get it. I've learned. I read the book.
So you see, in this case, the term scallop includes the other terms:
Scallops?
white sauce, scald, boil, and bake.
My eyes hurt.
One of the real tests of a cook is their jelly making. And the crucial point in making jelly of any
I swore I
kind is in
thought I
knowing
was
when it is
baking
cooked. A
a
jelly
cake or
test
something.
indicating a temperature of
I
220
can't even
degrees
remember
Fahrenheit
what my
is
last
frequently
name
used.
is.
One of the satisfactory jelly
Ellen?
tests is the sheet from a spoon test.
What?
This is performed by allowing a small amount of the juice to drop off a spoon.
Of which
When
your
the last two
spoon
drops
is
run
very
together
ugly.
and sheet from the spoon, the jellying stage is reached.
Jelly. Shrek will be so happy. Or whatever my husband's name was.
The jelly should be removed from the fire at once.
Fire bad.
These are only a few
So
of the terms you will
finally,
have to use and understand.
now I can write
How
my
can you
book
learn the
report
others?
for
Well, most good
class.
cookbooks have a glossary of terms in the appendix. Let's see if Margie's cookbook has one.
Stupid,
even Margie's cookbook has a
illiterate
glossary.
woman. Ugly, scald.
Cream. To soften a fat with a spoon or beater, you also to
Beater?
combine the softened fat with sugar. If she had only looked at this before she baked that cake. But wait a minute. There's still time to bake another cake before Tim comes home to lunch.
Woohoo!
It'll be right this time, and he'll never know the difference.
Nope, he won't. Oh, put a little wrap was good. Lord, it's been that long. Eat it up.
Yes,
I
even
promise
Margie
there's no
found that
rat
she could learn
poison
to
this
cook
time.
when she discovered the significance of the terms used in cooking. And Tim will never know she ruined her first cake.
Oh, God, this is horrible, honey. Oh, God, gotta choke it down.